Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. What I'm saying now is not with any hatred, but this is based on the gender war being a war and not just a conflict in which each gender is just looking out for its own interest. Because we only have one gender that's willing to forego some interest in order to pursue others. We have another gender that is not willing to forego a mother cuss word thing to pursue other interests, except that they're willing to forego interests that are mutual between both genders just to spite the other gender. I don't have to tell you which one is which gender is which. You take something that is a mutual interest, like the S word that sounds very much like the number that comes after 5. Well, trust me. We've seen women being willing to forego that, and that's what Lolo Jones is about. And that's why I stated that this was not about chastity. See, chastity is not about just not bumping uglies and not being carnal. Chastity is about putting the carnality in its proper place, which is a marriage. That's what chastity is about. The Christian church ain't really got that part. Muslims understand that. Christians should. Some denominations are better about understanding that than others. The Catholic Church does not as a whole. I don't think Lolo's Catholic. Whatever denomination to which she belongs may or may not have understood it, but at the very least, somewhere down the line, marriage is still upheld. Just she wasn't going to uphold it. She had options. So there are two double standards I'm going to tell men that we need to advocate in this case. With no hatred for her. She's collateral damage, but she knowingly and unknowingly signed up to be collateral damage. She knowingly rolled the dice and took a gamble. She unknowingly gambled more than what she thought she was going to gamble. Number one, morally speaking, I do have qualms against speculating that somebody's into their own gender without evidence. And in her case, the only evidence that some might be able to come up with is her appearance where it is involuntary. Because she's not taking on any of the voluntary appearance cues and clues to being interested in other women. She's not going and gotten locks and swagger and Timberland boots and a heavier voice, calling dudes bro, dapping them down and saying, "What up, dog?" She's not done any of that stuff. She's not taking on a masculine persona and voice. She's athletic. That can be feminine or masculine, depending on what the sport is. She's not playing football or even basketball. She's running track. That's not something that really makes women manly. Let me tell you what is the issue, though. And that is that, frankly, as we know, she's had options. Now, being from the Gulf Coast, I know Brittany Renner had options. Lolo had more than Brittany. Because Lolo ain't no thought, as far as we know. If she was, she did a damn good job of hiding it. The Braxtons preached all that stuff, but we know how they got down. Bang, bang, squirt, squirt. I'm holy. Man, fuck the shuck up. So, in the end, I still say this, gentlemen, I don't advocate you speculate, but don't take correction from sisters if you get caught doing so. We can correct each other about that for moral principles and more reasons, but don't let one of the sistren correct you about it. Why? Because they're not checking each other about when they speculate as to a man being interested in other men for no reason. Devin Franklin, as a Christian preacher, is not going to be considered responsible if he jumps straight from the arms of Megan Good to the arms of another woman. So he dealt with the grief He hung out with his partners, and because somebody decided to take some photos, the women started scrutinizing him. This has a 9AY energy in it. Dude was married to Megan Good for years, and there was never any speculation as to him chasing some other dudes. Not one dude came out and said this. Now, if you're a pastor and you're married and you chase dudes, some guy's going to come out and show whatever evidence they got. Didn't happen with Devin. Sisters didn't check sisters that speculated. You understand? So don't let them check you. So this is a double standard. Yeah, I'm telling you, if a man comes and corrects you about it, take it. If one of them comes and corrects you about it, challenge them on it. Even though, morally speaking, they may be right, that's the case of them saying the right thing for the wrong reasons. And that's why I'm saying, nope, keep the double standard. Check them, don't check the dude. The next double standard, do not exonerate her. She is single because of herself. She had options. Women have options. Men may or may not. Usually men have always limited options, far fewer than women's. Women actually have more options than men when it comes to both them draws and marriage. Now, the options of marriage decrease as they get older, but they start off with all the options. Doesn't matter how many they start off with, it's the options they don't have with which they become obsessed. Lolo had options. Don't let anybody come along and tell you that she's single because of other external factors. That she's single because God didn't write down a husband for her. She is single because she did not choose when she had the choices. That's it. We can argue and debate about how intentional or subconscious it was. I don't feel a guck. As a Christian woman that didn't believe in fornication, she knew before other women that she wanted a family. She just didn't choose a man because no man was important enough to her. She didn't want to send a signal that men were important. So she didn't, and now look at her. Trying to freeze eggs. She's still pretty much sending the signal that kids are important, but not men. She's still trying to send that signal. She didn't figure it out early enough, and she ain't figured it out now. So don't let anybody exonerate her if you know them. Any women you know any women, now women you don't know that say this stuff and you happen to overhear them, you don't need to engage with them. But a lady you know, like a sister, a cousin, you care about her, that you hear exonerating her, check her on it. No, men are the ones that don't have options. Men are the ones that have an excuse when they wind up by themselves. Even incels have excuses. It's oftentimes based on things they don't control. And men that don't look like incels, or the stereotypical idea of incels, are still incels. That's not what this is about. Hell, a man could have eyebrows that are too bushy or not bushy enough, wind up being an incel. That's how the West works. No. We exonerate men when they wind up by themselves. We don't exonerate women like her. Unless, of course, that was their choice. And when that choice came to pass, they didn't say anything and didn't complain. Now, that's an exoneration right there. We don't sit up here and exonerate women and say something about it after the fact. Absolutely not. No. There ain't no exoneration for them. They need to understand that it's them. They chose it. Ain't no exoneration. And you see, the thing is that she found a husband with her mindset. She would have ruined that marriage by making the kids know that the primary relationship in that house would have been her with the kids, not her with the husband. She'd have let the kids know this, and they'd have run the husband off altogether. Thank you for listening. Black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.